Hello, this is Megan. Hi. This week I did not get a chance to film my son's makeup video, so I am filming something that I was gonna wait and do later, but what's the point? It's just a story. Story time. I'm broken. Welcome to my channel. Let's do this.
Won't you help me sober up? Growing up and make me numb, and I wanna feel something again.
As y'all may know, I'm not exactly normal. Physically. Don't worry. Mentally too, but that's a whole other story time. But no, I am physically a wreck. A fat wreck. I was 16 years old. My body was like, you know what? We don't like her. Nope. Let's make her life miserable because we're not feeling it. We're really not. We're not feeling this whole healthy thing anymore. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's make her unhealthy. Let's really screw her up for the rest of her life. And I got really sick, and I thought I had the flu for the longest time. Well, actually, not really a long time. For like 2 weeks, they were like, "You got a virus," and I was like, "Do I now?" Because viruses usually don't last this long, and they don't hurt this bad. And they were like, "We don't know if it's the flu. We just know it's something weird." I'm like, okay, that's reassuring. And then all of a sudden my kidneys hurt really, really bad. And then they were like, oh no, this isn't just the flu. This could be something serious. This could be cancer. This could be like a tumor that's not cancerous but is causing issues. This could be kidney stones. This could be a kidney infection. And it took them so long to figure this out. But I had a kidney infection. And I had to go to the hospital. I was admitted to the University of Iowa Stead Families Children's Hospital. I was there for a while. And I had like antibiotics, and I felt like throwing up all the time. And I was just really sick. And then they released me. They're like, "You're free. Yay, you're gonna get better really soon, we promise." Let me tell you what. That was lie number one. Because for months I was still sick with the same symptoms, and I got more antibiotics. I had 5 rounds of antibiotics, by the way. 5. I was in the ER like over 15 times on IV medications and pain medications. And I couldn't take anything for a long period of time because they thought my kidneys would fail. So that's fun. I had so many tests done. 2 ultrasounds of a not so fun area of the body to have an ultrasound in. Notice how I said in. Yeah, usually ultrasounds, you know, they go no. Inside. Anyway, I couldn't go to school for like 2 months. I had VCUG, which is a catheter study. I had a mag scan. I had blood tests all the time. I had blood tests every time I went to the doctor. I had 22 doctors. 22 doctors at the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. And I had a colonoscopy. I had an endoscopy. I had a kidney biopsy. I had a million other things that I can't even remember. Not once did I cry. Even over the pain, I was just like, it hurt so bad, and my mom could always just see it in my face. My face would get really, really pale, and I would just look like I wanted to throw up, and I would just look really sick and I wouldn't talk to anyone. I would just sit there and I'd sleep all the time. I couldn't go to school. Every time I went to school, I got sick and I went home. They tried to modify my schedules. They put me on a 504 plan and nothing worked. I could not go to school. I had no energy for it. Even for an hour, it was like a day. That's what it felt like. It felt like a whole day. So they took me out of school. At some point, I just didn't go anymore. Actually, before that happened, over the summer, I made up my sophomore year. On my finals, I still got A's somehow. I had no teachers. I had one geometry tutor, but that's it. I had nothing else. I started out junior year, you know, I was like, I can do this. And it didn't work, but anyway, after 6 months of searching, I went to Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. I had a pain hospice doctor, like a hospice pain palliative doctor at Iowa City, and by then she was like, you know, sometimes we have to accept that pain and sickness don't come from anything. That was the first time I cried over anything going on with me. Not once had I cried until then. That broke me because I didn't know what was going on and I had no idea if anyone would ever know what was going on. And then something really bad but really great at the same time happened. In July of 2016, my joints started to hurt really badly. And everything popped and cracked when I moved. And I just felt really achy and I got really tired a lot and everything was just frustrating. When I told her that, she was like, you know what? We're gonna send you to rheumatology. Her resident doctor that came and saw me first didn't find anything. And she looked at my joints and she was like, how have you guys not noticed this before? You know, her joints are extremely hypermobile. And this could have been brought on by how sick she was. But she's been born with this condition, and it's called Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, or Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. Hypermobility type, which is like a connective tissue disorder that causes hypermobility of the joints and sometimes organs, which could explain my kidneys. When I had my kidney biopsy, I have like the membranes of my kidneys are really, really thin, and so they sometimes leak different things into my bladder, which aren't healthy. But they had no explanation for it. They just said sometimes it happens to people. And this finally gave that an explanation. It gave so many things an explanation. I used to get injured all the time when I was younger, and it finally had an explanation. It was like a blessing and a curse at the same time because since then, I've not had a day where something hasn't hurt. That's really hard for me. As this Ehlers-Danlos developed more and more, it brought on its sister conditions, which they call the trifecta. Cat break. Anyway, they call those the trifecta. They are postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome and mast cell activation disorder, which I have both of. And postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome is a nasty, nasty condition. They have no really good treatment for it, other than drink lots of water and eat salt. Eat lots of salt when you're really dizzy, and those things just don't work sometimes. And I used to have to get saline fluid treatments because a lot of times that helps. I would feel better for a couple days after I would get these saline treatments. I had prescriptions for them. It's not a really good long-term thing. I used to go and get these done every week. It's a condition that causes dizziness and, like, upon standing for too long or if you stand up too quickly, it causes extreme fatigue, and it's like a thinning of your blood vessels, which is caused by the EDS. Stomach issues, like really bad stomach issues, which I suffered from greatly. Causes like insomnia and temperature intolerances, which brings on Raynaud's disorder, which I also have, which is when it's really cold out. My fingers and things like that will turn blue or purplish at the tips or like really white. My feet will do it too. but it causes blood pooling and circulation problems. I struggle with it every single day. The mast cell activation disorder actually wasn't diagnosed for a year after I had EDS because I started having allergic reactions to different foods and the environment that were unexplainable, and I had a lot of rashes and things, and so they diagnosed that through a urine test and a blood test that came back positive. I was bedridden, like, for months. I did not do anything. I was just so depressed. I had my life. Marching band, I had my friends, I had everything ripped from my life. I couldn't do anything anymore. I had maybe 2 friends that still talk to me, and a lot of online ones which aren't here, aren't with me all the time. I struggled so much with being sick. I resented it. I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want that anymore. I saw a very lovely pain psychologist who works with kids specifically that have different diseases and struggle a lot, and she got me back into online school. She gave me little tiny goals that helped me get out of bed every day. And I had a lovely physical therapist named Kim Ryder. I love that woman. She helped me so much. Things slowly got at least a little bit better until I was 17, late last winter. It's not even been a year yet. By then I had a job, which no one expected me to get a job, but I was a cook at Panera. Started getting these headaches. I couldn't really read the board well sometimes. I would get like ringing in my ears and, you know, kind of spotty vision and just really bad pressure headaches every single morning. I went to the eye doctor that decided, hey, your optic nerves are really swollen. Out of everything I'd been told, everything I'd been through, that was probably one of the scariest things to me because I could have gone blind. He said I was super close to becoming blind if I didn't fix it. I had to go to the hospital the next day. He was like, this is like a medical emergency. You have to go to the hospital as soon as possible. And so the next day I went to a neurologist, a neurosurgeon, and I had a spinal tap. Or no, I had an MRI the next day. And they really thought that I had a brain tumor. They really did. They had a neurosurgeon ready. All of my doctors that I saw that day were saying, you know, I'll see you in the hospital, basically. And that was really, really terrifying. I was just shaking. I was a mess. The MRI came back and there was no tumor, which meant I needed a spinal tap. So the spinal tap showed I had an opening pressure of spinal fluid of 48, I believe, and the normal is supposed to be 5 to 15 or 20, 25 at the most. But they said I could take a medication at that point and it would probably help, which it made me really sick, but I tried a different one and that eventually helped. That condition is called Pseudo-Tumor Cerebri, and it's caused by these tubes that drain spinal fluid in my head are thinner than they should be. Thank you, Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, for causing that as well. I can't stop taking the medication I'm on for it until the symptoms are completely gone for 6 months, which hasn't happened yet, but it's 90% better compared to where it started. Unfortunately, a lot of my other conditions just have really bad flare-ups, and right now I don't have insurance, and I've been seeing an orthopedic before my insurance stopped, and he thinks I might have rheumatoid arthritis. I have like knobby wrists that get really swollen when it's cold, and they bruise up a lot too, which isn't good. They hurt really bad. There's always challenges with this, but I'm so thankful for where I am now. Like, if I went back and I told my younger self, hey, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. I know, you know, you're in a hospital bed. It doesn't seem like that now. You know, they're talking to you about going on disability so you don't have to work or you don't have to go to school. But you're gonna be fine. You know, I'm in college now, which was something no one saw happening for me other than my mom. The thought that I could get there. Not even my doctors. My doctors thought it would be really hard. And it is hard. There are days where it's just too much, but I'm here. I'm trying so hard. I'm so thankful for my friends because I haven't had any for so long that have been genuine people, and I appreciate them so much. They don't understand how happy they make me and how much just being there does for me, because when I got sick, no one wanted to be there, especially when it was something not easily explained. They didn't want to be with the sick kid. And I'm not the sick kid. I'm a normal person with a few problems. We all have problems. I mean, I joke around and I say I'm broken all the time when, you know, we're walking and my hip pops really loudly or my knees fall apart, basically. It's what it feels like sometimes. But, you know, I don't see myself as my illnesses like I used to. I used to see myself as, you know, this is all that is me. I lost who I was. I lost everything. I never thought in my life I would lose myself, and I did. But I'm also very happy to say that I found myself again through lots of reflection, lots of help from doctors and people that really cared about me, and so much from my friends that I have right now. They have no idea. And if you're watching, I really hope that you take that sincerely, because you don't know how much you've made an impact on my life. So thank you so much to everyone that's been here for me through the past few years and who will be here for me beyond that. And I will be here for you too. I have the kitty who looks really scared of me. But yeah, that was this week's video. Next week, I promise it'll be more fun. I promise. But I think I had to get that out because I struggle with that story so much, and it's really hard for me to talk about sometimes. So I like ranting about it on occasion. Next week I'll be doing my son's makeup, I promise. But this week it was a little bit sad, I know. Anyway, what do you say, Bailey? You say bye? Bye! Bye. Ah. Goodbye, everybody.
So far away 나에게도 꿈이 있다면 날아가는 꿈이